Good morning, students. Once again, I am here with this first chapter of history, that is how, when, and where. This is the part 2. Hope you have enjoyed and understood well the first part, which contained the important of the dates we have discussed. We have discussed the reason to have dates in history. We have discussed the focus on which dates are to be important in history and periods of history that we are going to discuss today. Let us see. See, how do you periodize the dates? That is, how do we periodize? That is our heading. Periodization helps us to understand the sequence in which various events occur and their effects. It captures the significant features of a particular period and help us to differentiate it from other periods. That means we divide the history into different periods to capture the characteristics of a time. Okay, its central features as they appear to us. Because history is a vast thing, and to know history properly, we are supposed to divide it into various periods. The terms through which we periodize, that is, demarcate the difference between periods, that is very important. Let us see. James Mill divided Indian history into 3 periods, that is Hindu, Muslim, and British. According to Mill, only British rules, culture, and laws could make Indians civilized. Because according to them, according to British, Indians were uncivilized. So, only British rules, culture, and laws could make Indians civilized. There are significant sources to study the periods of events, and by studying the different historical evidences, a string of time periods can be formed. Method of periodization. We divide history into different periods in an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time, its central features as they appear to us. So the two broad divisions or classification of Indian history. Number 1, British classification of Indian history, that is made by James Mill. In 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist and philosopher, in his book A History of British India, divided Indian history into 3 periods, that is Hindu, Muslim, and British. According to Mill, all Asian societies were at lower level of civilization than Europe. And the other classification, what was the other classification? It was, historians have usually divided Indian history into Indian, ancient, medieval, and modern ages. So, problems in this periodization, but it was not accepted widely. Both of these divisions or classification, what the historians made by that time. See, number 1, both the division had problems in it. Mill pointed out that before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled India. At that time, some factors like religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstition practices dominated India's social life. He divided history on religious ground. He characterized an age only based on the religion of the rulers of the time. But it is true. Can it be the proper way of making the division? When he is dividing the Hindu, Muslim, and British at that time of periodization, we can see when Hindu rulers are ruling the country, then other caste or people or religious peoples are also prevailing over there. So when Muslim rulers are ruling over Delhi, making capital at Delhi, the other caste or other faith rulers were also there. They were existed in the south. So then the question arises, the life, religion, and practices of others do not matter. So what about the others? Their religions, their practices, and others' life, they do not matter, because variety of faith existed at the same time. We can take just now I said, we can take an example when Delhi was ruled by Muslim rulers. In south, the rulers of other faith also existed. Thus the periodization of James Mill was not justified. Next, if we say the problems in periodization, the other classification, that is the Indian history classification, was also not justified, that is under the ancient, medieval and modern. Because this periodization is borrowed from the West, where modern period was associated with the growth of all forces of modernity, science, reason, democracy, liberty, equality. But by that time, India was under the British rule, so there was no liberty, equality, democracy. So we cannot match this period as modern. If we say it medieval, the term medieval used for the period where these features of modern society does not exist. So both modern and medieval, both of these words do not match with this classification or terms of periodization. Many historians refers British rule as a period of colonial. So as people do not have equality, freedom or liberty, no economic growth and progress took place. So what is colonial? Let us study. What is colonial? The British ruled India between 1858 and 1947 and imposed their values and customs over the Indian people. This process of establishing control over a country by another country that brings about a social, economic, political, cultural change is termed as colonization. So we can say when subjugation of one country by another country leads to the change in social, cultural, economic, political sphere, it leads to colonization. That also happened, that is what happened in India. The British, they brought the social, cultural, economic and political sphere, they were involved in each of this sphere. And British rule brought about changes in values, taste, custom and practices. So this was what is called as colonial. Now the sources of history. What are the sources from where we can read history? Historians use different sources in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history. Number one is very important, that is the official records of British administration. Every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigations, etc. to be clearly written up. All are carefully preserved. Record rooms were attached. All administrative institutions, specialized institutions like archives, museums were also established to preserve important records. These documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by the calligraphist. What is calligraphy? We know calligraphy is a person who is specialized in art of writing beautiful writings. With the spread of printing, multiple copies of this record were printed. Earlier it was by handwritten, that is by the calligraphist, and later with the invent of the printing machines, these more and more copies were distributed. Some other important sources that we can say, that is comes under the surveys. What is survey? It is the act of examining and recording the measurements, features, etc. of an area of land in order to make a map or plan of it. Okay. So surveys can be of various types. It can be zoological survey, it can be botanical survey, it can be archaeological survey, it can be anthropological surveys, and so on. So people move from place, some specialized people, they move for this service. They have a good knowledge of that subject and they text the details and they analyze it later. So British believed that a country had to be properly known before it could be effectively administered. Therefore, practice of surveying became a common under the colonial administration. So British started with the practice of surveying because they thought that to control a country or know a country properly, a survey is very important. That should be it should be effectively administered. By the early 19th century, detailed surveys were being carried out to map the entire country. In the villages, revenue surveys were conducted to know the topography. What is the meaning of topography over here? It is the study and description of the distribution, relative positions, elevations of natural and man-made features of particular landscapes such as mountains, rivers, valleys, human settlements, railway lines, roads, and this also include local history and culture. Now, there are from the end of the 19th century, census operations were held every 10 years, which provide detailed records of the number of peoples in all provinces of India, nothing detailed information of the caste, religions and occupation. Other surveys are, I said just now, botanical surveys, geological, archaeological. In every field, the surveys can be made to get a detailed record or information about that subject. So other than this, the official records and other records. Official records only tell us about the official thoughts and that we wish to preserve for the future generation. Official records do not tell what other people in the country felt. That is about the common people, what they felt about the history. So other sources include the diaries of different peoples, accounts of pilgrims, travelers, autobiographies of important personalities, popular booklets, newspapers, etc. All these sources were produced by literate persons. It is so often difficult to understand how history was experienced by the tribal peasants and or the workers in the mines or poor in the street. So this is all about the history of how, when and where. So this is the concluding part. Hope you enjoyed this video very much. Thank you.